I just have something to say about blockchains and probably something that people don't really know because it's not talked about at all and it's not really advertised anywhere at all. Probably done on purpose, and you'll see why. Think about how big of a company Microsoft is, right? And if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know what I have to say about who's going to run the show, even in cryptocurrency land. Whether or not we like it, you know, it's kind of inevitable that the big companies that produce all the software and all the hardware and create the operating system that you're more than likely running currently on your computer and possibly on your Xbox or whatever. Now, for those of you who don't know, Microsoft, being Microsoft, made it so that basically on, I don't remember if it was Windows 8 or 8.1, whatever, where you actually integrate, you no longer have like offline user as like your main user. You know what I mean? Like you sign in with your email address, your known Microsoft email address that you've probably had for years, which automatically puts you into their Xbox ecosystem too, because they've linked everything together. How they did that was with their cloud services, AZURE. Now, for those of you, again, who don't know, Microsoft being Microsoft, this always connected experience that they explained about the Xbox One that everyone got all riled up against, but then didn't realize was already happening before their eyes and already kind of takes part in that like check-in system, so to speak. Take a look at what is known as the TPM 2.0 module on most motherboards, or you can buy them as like an individual chip that you plug into your motherboard. That chip essentially is a cryptographic tokenized system that once it's in there, it's used to authenticate you, your hardware, with the software, aka the operating system that you're going to be running, which is Microsoft owned. And Microsoft's partners are those making the hardware for that computer. You're not going to be running a Mac on the same exact, you can, I'm not saying you can't, but you're not building it for that. And you know, if you're not the tech guy, you're not doing that. Like the average consumer is buying a computer and usually putting specifically Windows on there unless they go out of their way to buy a Mac, right? That's just how it's always been. So think about that for a second. How big is it, right? It's a wide network. They have had many users for many years. That TPM 2.0 module that is linked or linking your hardware to your software also acts as an authentication to Microsoft and you, the user. It allows Microsoft to authenticate that you are a purchaser of their product, like authenticated. This is an official statement, I guess you could say, between the hardware, the software, and your license to use the operating system. Okay, it's like an agreement. The fact that you use your email address and your account and everything is locked behind that TPM 2.0 module. That's where it's basically saved in a sense. I'm not saying it cannot be hacked, but the chances of you hacking it are just as likely as you hacking into someone's Bitcoin wallet. It's very low chance that you are actually going to extract the user's authentication information from that chip. Done so on purpose. Okay, now that is out of the way, that same system is all interconnected with their Azure cloud platform. Your hardware, essentially running their operating system under their permission, is also somewhat, if you don't think, okay, even for a second, that they didn't figure out what Bitcoin miners were doing by connecting each other peer-to-peer and like using the hardware in your computer to run their network, if you don't think that even for a second that Microsoft hasn't figured that out long time ago, probably before possibly the creation of Bitcoin and then implemented legally after the fact. If you catch my drift, and if you've been paying attention to any of my other conspiracy-like hot takes, if you will, and who's going to have control. Anyway, this Azure cloud platform essentially is a blockchain. That TPM 2.0 module, that hardware piece, is the authentication. That is basically you could call it your crypto wallet, but it's not a wallet. It just contains your user information that you put in there, and you could take it off when you use the operating system and get rid of it yourself as the admin of the computer. I put a quotation there. I'm sure you catch my drift. All that being said, if you don't think that your computer and your Xbox are a node on Microsoft's system running their Azure blockchain cloud service, just like any other blockchain out there, you are sadly mistaken. Look into Azure for yourself if you are into blockchain, and you will see what I mean. They even offer Ethereum Virtual Machine, EVMs, as a product on Azure. So if you don't know where I'm going with that, look also at all the 0x's in your BIOS in connection or in junction with the TPM module settings, if you will, when you're looking through for yourself. Go into your BIOS and look for it. Look, you're more than likely going to see representation that looks kind of crypto related, and it's done so on purpose because you don't know this. You're not supposed to know this, but your computer and your Xbox, yes, they have been basically mining in a sense. Not really mining, because there's no token that you are accumulating. It is just them using your computing power to run their cloud service, which is why their cloud services, even like xCloud, are one of the best in the entire thing, because you're more than likely going to be using a Windows operating system of some sort, even if it's your Xbox, to usually use that cloud service in some sort of way. You catch my drift? So if they're already using a portion of your computer, then that's why it makes it so easy, because you're already connected. You're already a part of the link. I just got to get that out there, because seriously, there's not a lot of people, or not enough people, at least. I don't know how many people know at all, or have even put together the link, or theorized in any sort of way that this was a thing, that Azure was technically, and yes, I'm saying technically, a blockchain. You can call it a cloud service all you want, but tell me the difference other than centralization and decentralization. That's it. That's the only difference. Microsoft has the control. Look at their Xbox. Look at things that they offer. Look at the currencies in video games these days. I'm just saying, look at, the DLC has always been a thing since Xbox 360, and the way it's evolved nowadays to singular assets in sort of a sense, like you're buying singular skins and you're using a currency within the video game that was designed for that video game to buy those skins. I'm just saying, there is not that much of a difference between the current gaming scene and what NFT gaming is trying to accomplish, and probably because Microsoft is already ahead of the game and tokenizes everything on their end, whether you know it or not, and whether even the developer knows it or not. Because if they were to just straight up say, yeah, these are technically NFTs or technically fungible tokens, or, using a cryptocurrency based like system at all, it would probably shake them all up and probably get them all scared. Oh, what the heck? We're using a blockchain? Oh, we're using cryptocurrency? Oh my God. It would probably just scare too many fucking developers. Because look at them. Go ask any traditional gaming or traditional gamer anything NFT or crypto related, and see if you don't get stomped on by an entire crowd of people in the comment section or a Discord server. Or you even show an NFT picture as your display picture, or have crypto anything in your name, or anything reminiscent of a blockchain anything, and tell me you won't get stomped or have a comment come at you like, oh, you have crypto in your name or you have an NFT in your picture, your opinion is irrelevant. Yeah. Yeah, that's literally what gaming thinks of us right now, folks. Just to let you know. Anyway, go watch my other videos if you haven't. They might give you a little bit of details and context into what I'm saying. Maybe.